Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sammasambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sammasambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sammasambuddhassa. Today we should talk about Ovada Patimokkha. So yesterday we have already mentioned the basics Patimokkha, right? Two types of Patimokkha. So we can also understand that is a Sabbaka Sanipada, big gathering of bhikkhus. So what does it mean, big gatherings? Actually, there are 1,250 bhikkhus gathered together around full moon day of February. Also, there are many other coincidents. All of them are Ehi bhikkhu. All of them are also Chalabhinya Arahat. Chalabhinya Arahat means, okay, if for your understanding, they can fly on the sky by themselves. So they can also know people's minds, they can also know their past lives, they can also know people's karma. These are psychic power. All of them also are arhats, right? Another thing is without invitation, without any making appointment, they all gather at the same times. So in that very day, Venerable Sariputta had attained arhatship. So in that event, the Buddha also declared Venerable Sariputta is foremost in wisdom. Venerable Mokkallana is also foremost in psychic power. Then Buddha also made announcements. Venerable Sariputta and Venerable Mokkallana were chief disciples. So yesterday I have already said, some people, they just like this kind of declarations or announcement. If it must be chief disciple, it should be Venerable Khanti. This is the oldest, the first one, who can attain Sacittapariyodapanaṃ. It can be many other senior to Venerable Sariputta, Venerable Mokkallana. They were ordained 2 weeks ago. They become chief disciple. Then the Buddha had to explain, it's not because of favoritism, it's because of their parami. Venerable Khanti, he just made aspiration to be the first noble person in the Buddha dispensation. Similarly, for other arhats, they have their own aspiration. They don't make aspiration to become chief disciple. They don't make any aspiration right, to be foremost in wisdom, foremost in psychic power. Also, they don't fulfill that long. That means for chief disciple, they have to fulfill very long. So, this is the beginning of Venerable Sariputta and Venerable Mokkallana. In that very day, the Buddha also do Ovada Patimokkha. Okay, here I should introduce the first stanza. Everybody knows that stanza. Sabbapāpassa akaraṇaṃ, Kusalassūpasampadā, Sacittapariyodapanaṃ, etam buddhana sasana. This is very common. Almost every Buddhist know that stanza. Sabbapāpassa akaraṇaṃ, to refrain from doing any evil or unwholesome deeds. Kusalassūpasampadā, to fulfill or cultivate wholesome deeds. Sacittapariyodapanaṃ, to purify one's own mind. Etam buddhana sasana. This is the teaching of the Buddhas. That means many Buddhas, or all Buddhas, teach the same. So here we have already known what is called papa, akusala, or evil. We have already mentioned many times. Similarly, kusala, wholesome, we have already mentioned very early, right? Before Buddha renunciation. When we talk about the quality of bhikkhu. Now here we should talk about Sacittapariyodapanaṃ, to beautifying one's own mind. What does it mean? Sacittapariyodapanaṃ means our mind must be free from 5 hindrances. This is called Sacittapariyodapanaṃ. Okay, we have already learned Majjhima Patipada. Sabbapāpassa akaraṇaṃ. That means not to do any evil or to refrain from evil or doing evil or unwholesome deeds. If we don't refrain, if we don't avoid, that means we follow our desire too much. It will be similar to kama sukhandika nuyoga, self-indulgent. Kusalassūpasampadā, we must cultivate and fulfill wholesome deeds. So that means if something is good, it will be beneficial for us. If we don't do it, it will be very harmful for us. It will be similar to self-torturing. Attakilamatanu yoga. So here we have to balance these two. Avoiding or abstinence or refrain. That is also our responsibilities. At the same time, to cultivate or to fulfill wholesome deeds. This is also our responsibility. Whenever we talk about right effort, we have to understand these two. Abstinence and cultivations or fulfillment. If we use our effort properly, then we will avoid doing wrong things. We will fulfill or cultivate good deeds. Sacittapariyodapanaṃ. So if our minds are not quite clear, not quite pure, it will cause to akusala again. All our actions every day, if our mind is impure, our action also impure. All our speech every day comes from our mind. If our mind is not quite pure, our speech also not quite pure. Practically in your daily life, you may have experiences. Sometimes you are not in good mood. Then whatever thing people say, you may think only negative. Whatever people say, you will say negative. right? Because your mind is not ready. So when we have very pure mind, we can also develop wholesome deeds. We can also cultivate, fulfill wholesome deeds. We can also avoid unwholesome deeds. So I have already mentioned, Sacittapariyodapanaṃ means the mind free from 5 hindrances. Then for some new learners, they may not know 5 hindrances, right? There are some people, they may know 5 hindrances. Okay, we should introduce briefly. The first one is karma chanda, sensual desire. When our mind is free from sensual desire, that means it's pure. Then another one is vyapada. We can understand like an ill will. We don't have good mind, right? We may plan to disturb people or to destroy people. When we have this kind of mind, we cannot stabilize. Also, we cannot feel happy. We cannot feel peaceful. That the neighbor, once we just combine together, uddhacca kukucca. Uddhacca means restlessness. Kukucca means remorse. Combine together. So that means sometimes we have a lot of restlessness. We also have a lot of remorse or regret. This to make our mind unstable. Then this also hindrances. Of course, whenever we talk about remorse, there will be two different things again. After doing something wrong, we feel guilty, we may regret. Similarly, after missing or after failing to do good, we may regret. If we summarize, doing wrong things, not doing right things, we may feel regret. We may feel guilty. This is called kukucca. So when we have kukucca, also our mind is not very stable, not very pure. Another thing is tina mita nivarana. When we say tina mita, then we can say, mostly we translate like a sloth and torpor. If we say easier way, mentally and bodily, you are not very active. Sluggishness, laziness, or drowsiness, sleepiness. All these things can be considered as a tina mita. So when we have these conditions, we cannot feel peace. Then we also have another one, avijja nivarana, ignorance. We have already talked about the conditions of avijja, right? Not knowing Four Noble Truths, past lives, future lives, both past and futures. Also, dependent origination. If we don't know these things, we call avijja. This is also hindrance. So when we have these hindrances, our mind is not quite pure. So the Buddha say, Sacittapariyodapanaṃ, to purify one's own mind. That means our mind must be free from this impurity, these hindrances. These are the teaching of the Buddha. So if we say briefly, there are only 3 instructions. Don't do something bad. Please do only good things. Make your mind pure. These are summary of Tipitaka. Right? When you go and read Tipitaka, it will take a very long time, right? If we do know, in brief, try to know these 3. Finish. This is the summary of Tipitaka. Now we have the next stanza. That's a Khanti paramam tapo titika nibbānaṃ paramaṃ vadanti Buddha nahi pabacito parupa gati na samano hoti paraṃ vihitayanto. This is the second stanza. Khanti paramaṃ tapo titika. Patience, endurance is supreme austerity, supreme practice, we can also say, right? So yeah, Khanti. Actually, we have many different types of Khanti. There will be many external objects. For example, heat, cold, mosquito bite. Right? There are many. These are external. We must be patient with these. Internally also, it comes from our body. Hungry, thirsty, pain, a lot of difficulty in our body. We must be patient with all these difficulty and suffering. This is also called Khanti. Actually, there are many different explanations. For example, in Pali we call Adivasana Khanti. Adivasana Khanti means, although we have ability, we don't revenge. We just keep our mind calm. So make our mind free from hatred. This is called Adivasana Khanti. Sometimes people have a bad habit, right? Somebody disturb us, they don't openly talk to them, but in the mind, keep in the mind very long time. Hatred becomes stronger and stronger, right? This is not really called Khanti. It becomes dosa storage. Right? In the case of Khanti, whatever people do, forget, forgive, make mind free from hatred. That is the nature of Khanti. So although we don't say something in the present, we keep in our mind very long time, right? That means grudge, holding grudge. Hatred becomes stronger and stronger. It cannot make our mind free. So in the case of Khanti, make mind free. That means don't hate anybody. Right? This is called Khanti. So Khanti is the supreme ascetic practice. Nibbānaṃ paramaṃ vadanti Buddha. The Buddha declared Nibbana as the supreme goal. Okay, here, Buddha. This means plural. Many Buddhas declare. So when we say plural, we must elaborate a few more. So now we have a Gautama Buddha, that is Sabbañu Buddha. So Sabbañu Buddha or Sama Sambuddha also say the same, Nibbana as supreme goal. Not only that, Pajjika Buddha. Pajjika Buddha also declare the same, Nibbana as the supreme goal. Then we also have one more Buddha. We call in Pali Anu Buddha. Sabbañuta Buddha, Sama Sambuddha, you have already known that one, right? Pajjika Buddha, you have already known. Here, Anu Buddha. Anu Buddha means Buddha disciples. Because they enlightened, they were enlightened by following the teaching of the Buddha. Anu means follow. So following Buddha teaching, they become enlightened. That's why they are called Anubuddha. Of course, after practicing successfully, they can experience Nibbana. That's why they can also declare Nibbana as the supreme goal. So this is called Nibbana Paramam Vatanti Buddha. Nahi papatito Purupa Ghati. One who strikes or kills or harms others is not papatita. Papatita means renunciate. Okay, here we should also elaborate a few more things about papatita. Papatita means chasing out or kick out or drive away, right? They also can be considered papatita. What do they drive away? They drive away unwholesome deeds. They drive away defilements. I mean, those who are trying to drive away all the defilements are called papatita. Whether ordained or not, it's papatita. If somebody strikes, kills, or harms others, they are not truth, papatita. Now, samana hoti parang vihitayando. Also here again, one who operates other is not truth ascetic. Here we can also say another way, one who bully another is not samana, true ascetic. Okay, here also one more thing. Samana also comes from the Pali word sama or samu. That means making peaceful. Samana means peaceful person is called samana. So we can also understand another way. If somebody can extinguish the heat of defilement, they can live peacefully. That's why they are called samana. So they can live calmly, peacefully. If somebody bully others, they are not really called samana. So you can imagine where the Buddha is teaching the one. Listeners are all arhat, right? All the listeners are arhat. They are qualified enough to listen to this kind of topic. Khanti. Okay, one more thing. Here we have many different types of Khanti. I have already mentioned in the very beginning. In the case of arhats, they cannot be attracted by good or bad. For example, when seeing desirable things, they will not have attachment. When seeing undesirable things also, they will not get angry. Their minds are unshaken by good and bad. This is the nature of arhat. I remember one question I asked to Sayadaw. What is it really called peerless patience or incomparable patience? One young bhikkhu asked to Sayadaw. Sayadaw told him, Anagami. He just said very simple, Anagami. That means Anagami, they don't have anger anymore. Right? They have a very strong Khanti. Of course, they cannot get angry anymore. So no more dosa. If there is no dosa, sure, we have an incomparable Khanti. When we have dosa, although we say we are patient, not strong enough. So for about Nibbana, all arhats have experience. That is why they also realize Nirvana has a supreme goal. So Nahi Babajito Brupa Gadi, this is also very clear, right? They all are arahats, they will not kill any living beings. They will not disturb or they will not harm any other living beings. Similarly, we Tiando, objects or bully. They will not bully anybody. This is the nature of arahat already. We have to move the last stanza for Avada Patimokkha. Here mentioned Anupa Vado, Anupa Gado, Patimokheja Samaro, Madanyuta Ja Badasmi, Santanja Sayana Sana, Aditi Ja Ayogo, Etam Buddhana Sasana. There will be some different Pali words in the second line, Dutiya words, the second word, Santanja. In some texts, it will mention Pantanja. SA, we're changing to PA, right? We have that kind of spelling, two different Pali words possible. Actually, both of them are correct. This is also, right? Both of them are right. Okay, now here we have to go to explanation. Anupa Vado, Anupa Gado. Anupa Vado means not accusing or insulting or reviling others. So sometimes we may accuse somebody falsely, right? Falsely means untruth facts, huh? Then we may accuse somebody. Actually, Anupa Vado, not accusing, also not insulting, not reviling. And Anupa Gado, also similar to previous one, not harming others. This is also one of the quality. So the Buddha recommended Anupa Vado, not to accuse anybody. Anupa Gado, not to harm anybody. Now something Patimokheja Samvaro. Yeah, Patimokha Samvara. That means you have already known Patimokha. Bhikkhu Patimokha, right? Restraint in Patimokha. The fundamental moral codes for bhikkhus. The another thing is Madanyuta Ja Badasmi, knowing moderation in eating. This is one of the things, right? Madanyuta Ja Badasmi, moderating in foods. In this case, we have to know a few things. When we are going for Pindapata, when we are receiving also, we must know the amount we can eat, we can consume. That's the one thing. Now we must also know suitable food for us. This is also called Matanyu, knowing the amount, knowing, or we can say knowing the moderation. Then when we are going to eat, it should be the same. Sometimes when we are going for Pindapata, many do not offer, we cannot reject. If we say no, they are not very happy, right? We have to accept whether like or dislike, we eat or not. When we are going to eat, we might choose only suitable food. We must eat only proper amount. If too much eaten, we may feel discomfort in our body also. If we don't eat enough food also, we may feel discomfort in the body. So in the case of the knowing moderation in foods, that means when receiving or when eating, we must know the amount of the food or the suitable food for us. This is called Madanyudasya Badasani. As a practitioner, especially for meditator, this one is really very important. We have to know what kind of food causes the problem. For example, sometimes you cannot focus very well. The mind becomes blurred, or you become too active. Your body is functioning something strange. Then you must remember what kind of food caused this kind of problem. Okay, when we are learning in the Bali school, we don't bother about food. What about food? We eat it. But when I come to meditation center, I do the same. But very big problem. Sometimes I cannot meditate well. Later, I must have to find what kind of food causes the problem. For example, drowsiness too much. Whole day drowsiness, for example. Right? As far as I remember, holic, mellow, if I drink, over 10 also the same, right? Holic, mellow, over 10. If I drink one of these three, whole day drowsiness. I cannot meditate. So from that time on, I avoid these three drinks. This is my body. Your body will be different. So that means we must remember what kind of foods cause problem in our practice. This is also important. Now this is Santanta Sayanasana. Actually, they also mention Pantanta Sayanasana. This is also one of the statements there. Okay, whatever, not that problem. So the main thing is living in quite quiet place or secluded place. This is called Santanta Sayanasana. Then the Adhicita Ayoko. You already know Adhicita. Adhicita means superior mind. Whenever we talk about Adhicita, superior mind, it refers to 8 attainments. 4 material jhanas and 4 immaterial jhanas, right? Ayoko means struggling or practicing. So we must be practicing for higher attainments, especially material jhanas or immaterial jhanas. So these are recommended by the Buddha. Okay, here we should approach another way. Anupagato. Okay, here in this case, not speaking ill of other. That means if we speak something ill of other, right? This is also called anupavado. That we will not encourage anybody to speak ill of other also. That means we ourselves must not do it. We must not encourage others to do it. So we have many other similar cases, right? Again, anupagato, not harming somebody by ourselves, or we will not encourage anybody to harm others. This is also important, right? Okay, here in this point, Anguttara Nikaya, the Buddha also mentioned 4 types of people. Bad people, very bad people, or good people, we can say very good people, right? We can say 4. What we really call bad people? They are doing many bad things, but they don't encourage you to do bad. When somebody is going to do bad, they disagree. That means they are a bad person. Very bad one. They themselves also do many bad things. They also encourage others to follow their footpath. Their footstep, right? To follow their footstep. So that kind of people are called very bad people. Similarly, good people. There are many good people. They are doing many things good. But they don't encourage other people. They don't help other people to do good. Very good people. That means they themselves also do many good things. They also encourage others to do. They also help other people to do. Buddha say 4 different types of people in Anguttara Nikaya. So here in this case, Anubhagado, right? We ourselves must not be bad person. If we encourage other people to do bad things, to speak bad things, or if we help other people to speak very bad things or to do some very bad things, right? We become very stupid one, right? That is why, although we say Anubhagado, accuse an other, that means we ourselves must not accuse. We must not encourage or help other to accuse other, anybody. Similarly, Anubhagado, we ourselves must not harm other people. We must not help or encourage other people to harm other, anybody. So these are the Buddha teaching. Etam Buddhana Sasana. So here in this case, we can also summarize. Patimokkha Samvara. Right? This is also morality. Also again, Bhojanimattanyutta, moderating in foods. Actually, this also purifications of livelihoods. Right? We must do our livelihoods. If we are not very pure, then we don't have Bhojanimattanyutta. When we are going to accept donation, we will take whatever thing we like, right? We will not think about others or donors' conditions. Then again, also mention Tantanca Sayanasanam. That means suitable place for practicing. Right? If we have suitable place for practicing, we can improve. After Rijita Ayoga, then we must train ourselves to attain higher attainment. Here I mentioned 8 attainments, 8 jhanas. These are recommended. So these are recommended by the Buddha. This is also called Ovada Patimokkha. So in the very day, whenever Sariputta attained hardships, all these things happen. Then at the time, we can start Kapilavatthu. Where is Kapilavatthu? If we haven't map, right? From here, which direction is Kapilavatthu now? Right? So Kapilavatthu, Gensurodhana, wanted to see his son, the Buddha. So he decided to send people to invite the Buddha back to Kapilavatthu, his own kingdom. He sends a minister accompanied by 1,000 men to deliver his message and to invite the Buddha back to his own country. But when they arrived at monastery in Rajagaha, the Buddha was delivering discourses to people. So they also joined the Dhamma talk and listened. At the end of Dhamma talk, they all attained hardships. So since they have attained hardships, they neglect their duty as a minister. They are not interested in that kind of duty anymore. Then send another group like this. So finally, he sent Kaludhayi. So Kaludhayi is his playmates since childhood, very close to the Buddha. So we can say they are childhood playmate, right? Okay, Galudhayi, now it's your turn. Can you invite my son to come back to my country? Galudhayi requests only one thing. If you allow me to ordain, I will go. So previous one, they don't ask permission, right? They ordain. But this one openly ask permission. They can say, okay, after arriving there, whether you ordain or not, it's okay. You can do it. Okay, it will happen the same. It happened the same to him. After listening to this course, they all attain arhatship. In the case of Galudhayi, he said Chala Binya Arhat. Today I will talk about Chala Binya Arhat, right? Chala Binya Arhat means, okay, I should elaborate a few more, right? Chala Binya means Puvinivasano-sati, the knowledge of knowing all the past lives. Also Diva Jaku, divine eyes. Diva Sota, divine ear. Also Parajita Vijanana, reading people's minds. Also Itivida, flying on the sky or diving into the water, that kind of power, psychic power. Also the last one is Asavakaya, arhatship. Altogether 6. So together with arhatship, altogether 6. That's what they are called Chala Binya Arhat. So 5 Binya plus arhatship, altogether 6, right? That's what they are called Chala Binya Arhat. So Galudhayi invited the Buddha to go back his country to see his family. So the Buddha traveled slowly, one day, one yojana, one day only 8 miles. On the way, whoever people come and see him, he will give Tamato, he will give some guidance like this. Then Galudhayi bring food for the Buddhas and Sangha. So you can also imagine how many bhikkhus will be there together with the Buddha. Right? Actually, very big group from, we can say like a 9,000 men from Kapilavatthu. But he sent 9 times. They didn't come back, sent another one like 9 times. So the 9,000 people from Kapilavatthu. So there are many other, right? You already know 1,000 brothers, right? So there are many other arhats at the time already. Then all of them follow the Buddha. A certain disciples, chief disciple, Venerable Sacittapariyodapanaṃ, Venerable Mammoggallana, they will not follow. They didn't follow. So Galudhayi, he brings fruit from Kapilavatthu palace every day. He has second power, right? He go to palace. He also inform all the people, all the relatives. Oh, Buddha is now coming. He has been here in this place every day. They also start food. Whenever Galudhayi bring everything by second power. Although they haven't seen the Buddha yet, when seeing Venerable Galudhayi, they were very pleased. You know, Galudhayi, even Venerable Galudhayi can fly on the sky. He has second power. He could go anywhere he like, very quickly. So, okay, later, Buddha also say he's a foremost in supporting family. Venerable Galudhayi is also Ijataka, right? Foremost in supporting Buddha's family. So, finally, the Buddha arrived at his palace. Then he the first day he met his family, right, and relatives. It is Vesak day. So mostly people know the Buddha was born in Vesak day, right? Also, the Buddha attained enlightenment in Vesak day. The Buddha entered Purinibbana in Vesak day, right? This one, he arrived at his royal palace for the first time in Vesak day after enlightenment. So you have already known it will be very big ceremony, very big welcoming ceremony. When the Buddha was sitting in the Dhamma hall, many of second princes and princesses were gathering. Orderly people just encourage younger one, please go, pay respect to you, this is your senior. All the orderly people, they don't pay respect to the Buddha. They think, oh, he's my nephew. He's only my grandson. He's my younger brother. Because they are relatives. This is the nature of religious mind, right? Then the Buddha had to display psychic power. Unluckily, I cannot draw psychic power, right, on the sky walking. So one side water, one side is fire, right? Rotation. Because I cannot make animation faster than that, right? Because animation is very limited, right? Only 5 milliseconds, the minimum. We cannot make faster than that also, right? Anyway, when seeing psychic power, actually, Buddha was walking on the sky when he was displaying psychic power. The miraculous powers. At the time, King Suratana himself bowed down to the Buddha. So at the time, whenever Sariputta, whenever Mama Moggallana came to see the Buddha by psychic power, then the Buddha also asks, whenever Sariputta asked the Buddha, how is his parami, how is his life and something, then in that very day, the Buddha also delivered Bodhavansa. So Vesak day, the Buddha delivered Bodhavansa, requested by Venerable Sariputta. Actually, Bodhavansa is a very wide, many stanzas, right? That's why it will be very heavy to explain. Starting from parami, it explained very much in detail. So the Buddha also delivered Bodhavansa in that very day. So after that, there's also Pakkaravasa. Pakkaravasa means in Nepal you have Pakkara, right? But Pakkara is in Nepali you may know that sounds like a lake, right? In the case of Pali, Pakkara means lotus leaves. Because I mean like the water, right? Fall from the sky. Those who wish to wet, the rain will wet. If you don't want to wet, it will not wet. This is called Pakkaravasa. Then in that event, many people surprisingly say, oh, this is very wonderful. It had never happened. In this community, the Buddha also delivered Vesandara Jataka. In that assemble, right? Big gathering of his family. So after that we can say nightfall, right? All of them left. Nobody invited the Buddha for a meal. So the next day, the Buddha went for Pindapada. Actually, you may have already known Narasiha Gatha. I think in Sri Lanka, they also memorize Narasiha Gatha. I haven't met some people, they have already memorized Narasiha Gatha. Narasiha Gatha means when the Buddha was going for walking around Pindapada, Yasodhara showed Rahula. Yasodhara showed Buddha, right? Rahula, okay, then my son Rahula, this is your father. Then how he look like and how he is grateful and something. Actually, at the time, Yasodhara also talking about Buddha's quality to her only son, Rahula. This is called Narasiha Gatha. So when hearing the Buddha was going for Pindapada, King Surodhana cannot bear. Right? They also say, oh, now Siddhartha is begging for food in the city. Then he was in a hurry, approached the Buddha and say, why you are doing like this? How shameful it is. We have enough regacies, we have enough property, why you are begging? Then the Buddha replied, this is the Asian culture of the Buddha. But anyway, King Surodhana arrived there. Then the Buddha also delivered discourse by standing. There's Oditi Nabamachiya, the stanza, right? So that means when we are standing, don't be heedless. Dhamma Suchiritan Sare, practice the Dhamma well. That means the Buddha just delivered that discourse. As a result, King Surodhana could attain Sacittapariyodapanaṃ in the event. This is only the first time. Although Buddhavansa delivering Buddhavansa, Vichandra Jataka, right? King Surodhana cannot attain anything. But after listening, short discourse, he could attain Sacittapariyodapanaṃ. After that, the king invited, bring the Buddha's bowl and invited to the palace. Also, he also served food. At the end, then the Buddha also delivered another discourse. Dhammanjari Suchirita Nanan Dochiritan Jare. This is the stanza, right? I will not write stanza fully. That means one should practice the Dhamma well, not practice badly. That means don't do any evil. Right? This is the main intention. So one who practices the Dhamma sleep happily in the world and in the future. That means we also the next, right? So here I mentioned to practice Dhamma well. Don't practice adhamma. Don't practice evil deeds. If you practice Dhamma, they mention Dhamma Jari Sukhan Seti. That means the Dhamma practitioners can sleep happily and peacefully, we can say. Asmin Loki Paramita, in this very life or the next. This is the teaching of the Buddha in this assembly again, in the palace, the same day, in the second day. At the end of this course, the king could attain Sakadagami, Mahabhajapati Gaurami could attain Sacittapariyodapanaṃ. This is the second attainment. So after that, Buddha then Mahadhamapala Jataka. When the Buddha delivered Mahadhamapala Jataka, then the Buddha also, King Surodhana talk about the Buddha. Although many people talk about you when you are practicing austerity, some deva inform me you pass away. But I don't believe them. As long as he cannot attain Buddhahood, he will not pass away. My son will not pass away without attaining Buddhahood. I believe very strongly. When he will his way of belief, then the Buddha also deliver Mahadhammapala Jataka. So it will be a little bit long. Okay, today no question and answer, right? I will continue. Okay. I will summarize Mahadhammapala Jataka. That one is Bodhisattva was learning in Takashila. Then there's also his teacher, Pamukha, right? Also has family. One day, the teacher's son passed away, when very young. Then Bodhisattva's name was Dhammapala. So his father is also Dhammapala. Then, of course, Father's name will be Mahadhammapala, right? Then Dhammapala, young man, say, it's impossible. Why people pass away very young? It's impossible. He said like that. Then many of his classmates say, no, people can die anytime, young or old, they can die. No, it's impossible. Only when old people die. When young, nobody die. Now, this is a little bit strange thing to everybody, right? Why? People die young. This is impossible. Then many people reported the teacher. Now, Dhammapala says something strange. Right? He said, young people cannot die, only old people die. Then teacher also asked Dhammapala, do you say that? Do you say that? Yes, I do it. I do it. Then why do they say? Why do you say like that? In our village, in our region, nobody die when young. When they grow old, they die. Then also teacher also cannot believe. Okay, so now he hand over all the duty to Dhammapala. He's also assistant teacher actually at the time. And then also he bring the bone of goat. And he call it bone of goat. And I call it properly, or that he bring go to his village. Then as soon as he arrived, then he also talked to Mahadhammapala, the father, right? Okay, I should inform some bad news. Your son, Dhammapala, is very clever, outsmart. He could learn everything very smoothly, very easily. But unluckily, he passed away a few days ago. This is his bow. All people laugh at him. Many people also come. When hearing that news, all people laugh at him. Then the teacher say, then, oh, do you go crazy when hearing your son's news? Okay, this is normal. People can pass away anytime. Then they also say, no, it's impossible. My son will not pass away. I mean, this is some animal's bow, not my son's bow. All the relatives also support Mahadhammapala. They don't believe. Then the teacher asks, why you are so sure that your son does not pass away? They say, in our village, nobody passes away when young. When we grow old, we pass away. Why this happen? Okay, if we summarize, they will have, okay, if we say briefly, they undertake 5 precepts very strictly. They don't break 5 precepts. Not easy, right? Just summary, okay? Another thing is Many of Dhammataka will come to their village. Although they are very bad, then sometimes what they speak and what they practice are opposite, right? As long as some of Dhammataka are beneficial for them, they listen respectfully. So they also do all the Kusala Kamavattha. Kusala Kamavattha means Dana, Sila, Bhavana. You already know that one, right? The Vayavacha, volunteer service. Also, they also sharing merit, rejection merit. Then they also have a right view. So all these power, they have all these good quality. That's why they will not pass away. When young, by the power of their Kusala Karma in this very life, not past life, right? This very life Kusala Karma. So that's why they cannot pass away. This is this Dhammapala Jataka, Mahadhammapala Jataka. So the Buddha related to that story, Buddha also revealed, although when I'm in fulfilling Parami, at the time, you don't believe my dad taught by teacher. Now your Parami is mature enough. No wonder you don't believe my dad taught by Deva, when taught by Deva. That is his explanation of Dhammapala Jataka. So in that assembly, then one person didn't come. That is Yasodhara. Many people talk to her. Now, Siddhartha came back, right? Then his appearance is like this, not like before. Very grace, right? Also very calm, very peaceful. Although many people talk to her, she didn't came out. Okay, if she remember my gratitude, if he remember my gratitude, he may come to see me. At the time, I will see him. This is it, Yasodhara. Right? Then the Buddha also know her condition. That's why bringing Venerable Sattiputta and Venerable Mamoggallana, the Buddha visited Yasodhara chamber. Actually, when I asked to draw a picture, right, Yasodhara, picture is very beautiful, so I have to make her clothes simple. Right? Okay, I have to say something. When Buddha arrived there, she hugs Buddha's legs and also cry. This is the first tendency. After that, King Suddhodana also there. He talked about Yasodhara's virtues. So when you renounce, then she said that people come to know, right? They have news. Now Siddhartha shaved his hair already. When hearing that, she will not decorate her hair anymore. This is the one thing, right? Also, now when people talk about you, or Siddhartha was now living in the very simple bed. They don't use luxurious bed. But you should also follow. She didn't use very luxurious bed. So Siddhartha wear robe, clothes. That means we can say a little bit like the clothes dyed with the bark color, right? The tree bark, right? By binding the bark of the trees, we dye the robes. So when hearing that, she also wear the same color. So when hearing, Siddhartha eat only one meal a day, She also eat only 1 meal a day. Then other things, although many of other second princes invite her to come to their kingdom or to be their queen, she rejected. Then on that event, the Buddha delivered Jana Kineri Jataka. So that means Janagini Jataka also, okay, I should summarize, right? Janagini Jataka, the Bodhisattva and Yasodhara, in the future, they were Kinara and Kinari. So, actually, they were happy in the forest. Actually, they live in Himalaya. Right? So that means Paiti forest. Then one day, King Brahmadatta also came to forest for hunting. He lost direction. He go here and there. He saw the Kinari, the female, right, was a dancing very beautifully. Kinara was singing. They were very happy. When seeing that, oh, this Kinari was very beautiful. If I can kill her husband, I can get her. I can win her. So he shoots. Because he bring bow and arrow, right? He shoots the Kinara. Kinari also recognized husbands as well, shot by the king. When she was crying, then Brahmadatta also persuaded her, please follow, don't live in the forest. I can give you better life in the royal palace. Right? But she rejected. By telling the truth, when he touched the chest, then she should also know the body is one. That means not yet die. So by telling the truth, Sacittapariyodapanaṃ, right? Then the king of Saka help, then the Kinara can recover from sickness. So they were reunited, right? Again. They can also leave. So at that time they were not human being. Kinara means a kind of animal. Birds, right? A kind of birds. Although they were animal, she was very loyal to the Kinara. Now she was very mature. She had fulfilled parami very long time. It's no wonder she was very loyal to the Buddha. So this is a discourse to Yasodhara in the event. So after the event, especially even the first day, they have already discussed where they should build monastery for the Buddha. So there are 20,000 arhats at the time. They came to Kapilavatthu. So for 20,000 arhats, 20,000 bhikkhus, it must be big space, right? That's when they choose. Now Nigaradharma. So for Nepali, right, you have been to that place, right, frequently. For other foreigners here, you may have never been there, right? Try. When you go to Lumbini, you can also visit many places around the area. Maybe very far one is Ramakam, right? Okay, you can go until Ramakam. On the way, you can also see the Rohini River also, right? Anyway, So they choose the Nirodharama monastery. So why is it called Nirodharama? It belongs to the prince named Nirodha. That's why it's called Nirodharama monastery. So they also offer that monastery to the Buddha. Actually, before Buddha arrived, they have already prepared the place, prepared them offer there, right? So the Buddha spent his time in the Nirodharama monastery. So this is just for information, because we don't know, after retreat you may go to Lumini or somewhere, right? For new karma here, then you can visit many places. Okay, if I have an opportunity, I will talk about many other stories about Nirodharama also, right? It will be a little bit long story. Anyway, so this is about Yasodhara and Rahula. So today, very long already, right? Okay, we're going to talk about him again. Although it will be a little bit long. Prince Nanda. So okay, now so far the Buddha arrived at his kingdom 2 days. The first day, Dhammarago, Bodhavansa, Vesandara Jataka, right? And the second day, the first day nobody can take part in fruition only, right? Second day, King Surodhana, Kente, Anti, Sakadagami. Oh, sorry. At the end of Dhammapala Jataka, sorry. At Dhammapala Jataka, King Surodhana Kwete, Anagami. Mahavajapati called me Kwete, Sakadagami. This is also the result of Dhamma talk. So second day, many discourses, right? So one standing, one Dhamma talk. In the palace, another Dhamma talk. Also Dhammapala Jataka, Janaginiri Jataka. The Buddha delivered many Dhamma talks in the second day. So, until that moment, Prince Nanda wasn't ordained yet. So maybe a few days later, he will be ordained, right? Okay, today I will stop here. So here, one more thing we have to remember. Mostly, we understand our parents' gratitudes are very high. Although we trying to serve every day, every night, holding them on our carrying them on our shoulder, we cannot pay back their gratitude. We have that kind of understanding according to Buddha's teaching. That's the way to pay back parents' gratitude. That is 4 things. If parents are not very strong in saddha, we can support them to have stronger faith. If they have unshaken faith, we can also pay back their gratitude fully. Second one is sila, morality. If parents are immoral, we can support them, we can help them to be moral. If they become moral, we can pay back their gratitude fully. Another thing is generosity. If parents are so stingy, so possessive, then we can also help them to be generous. They may have more open hands to share their properties. Then we can also pay back their gratitude. Finally, wisdom. So if parent doesn't have wisdom, here in the case of wisdom, it just means Dhamma knowledge, also insight knowledge. If we can help our parents to have this kind of wisdom, this is also called paying back their gratitude fully. Here in the case of the Buddha, he paid back his father's gratitude and he could attain anagami. He paid back his stepmother, his aunt, Mahavajapati Gautami's gratitude. And she could attain Sakadagami. Later, actually, both of them will attain Arhatiship. So this is the way to pay back parents' gratitude. So sometimes we live in the community. We live with our parents or our relatives, but not that easy to pay back their gratitude. And because they are not ready to accept. Even in the case of the Buddha, if he doesn't have psychic power, he cannot take his relatives. Right? So that means, if you have a psychic power, trying to train your relatives is more important. Right? If you don't have psychic power, you must wait until they are mature, or they are ready to accept your teaching or your guidance. Mostly, relatives are very difficult to take. Right? So, even the Buddha himself encountered difficulty to take his relatives. So if we want to teach our relatives, our parents, we must remember these four. Saddha, also Sila, Jaga, and Panya. If we can help them to have these four qualities, we can pay back their gratitudes. May you all be able to practice 3 trainings, and may you all be able to realize final cessation and not suffering. Okay, we have 15 minutes, right? Okay. Okay, 15 minutes, we have question. Okay. Huh?
Alo. Bạch ngài, để hoàn thành cái ba la mật của Đức Phật, ngài phải hành 4 a tăng tiền kiếp và 100.000 đại kiếp. Thì con muốn hỏi rằng 100.000 đại kiếp đó là số lẻ, thì 100.000 đại kiếp của trái đất được hình thành và cái kiếp cuối cùng ngài ở trên cái quả đất thành tựu ở trái đất này, đúng không ạ? Dạ, câu hỏi là tức là quá trình ngài hình thành cái thành tựu của ba la mật á, ngài phải tu rất nhiều trên các con trái đất đã sinh lên và hoãn kiếp đi, tức là hàng triệu cái của trái đất như vậy chứ không phải đâu. Có phải không? Dạ.
So the question is it he would like to confirm the Buddha had fulfilled parami within 4 aeon and 100,000 Mahakappa. So is it true? Is it very long? Because one kappa is like the world circle disappear and reappear again.
Of course, very long, sure. This is it. For Asankheya and 100,000 Iran. Okay.
Câu hỏi thứ hai của con là trong Tiểu Bộ Kinh đó, có câu chuyện là Đức Phật nói rằng là ngài đã từng làm vua 20 năm và đọa địa ngục 80.000 năm, thì những câu chuyện như vậy thì có phải là sau khi mà ngài được thọ ký hay là trước khi thọ ký?
So in Kutta Nikaya, there is Jataka story. Buddha told one of his past life. He was a king within only 20 years, but after that he must suffer in the hell 80,000 years. So he would like to ask, that story happened, and that life happened after the Bodhisattva received the prophecy or before?
Actually, before definite prophecy. Okay.
Tức là sau khi ngài được thọ ký thì sẽ không đọa xuống 4 đọa xứ đó không?
So this means after Bodhisattva received prophecy, then he will not fall into four state.
He will not fall into the hell. He was reborn as an animal also, right?
Ngài sẽ không đọa địa ngục.
Okay, then.
Yeah, a question here. Kính bạch ngài, tại sao khi tí hỷ vừa xuất hiện như là một loại thọ theo cái diệu pháp, vừa được xem là một trong sở hữu biệt cảnh. So this question related to Vidhamma. Why piti appear as one of the Vedana according to Abhidhamma, but it's also one of Chitta in Paninaka.
Pakinaka.
Yes.
Not quite clear. Question not quite clear. What is that?
Why piti appear as considered as Vedana?
Actually, we cannot say piti as a Vedana. Piti is a piti, Vedana is a Vedana, two different things, right? So that means whenever samana Vedana arises, piti arises. Okay, one more thing. You may have no package, right? Package. Okay. I should give one simile. Package tour. Package told me when you travel somewhere, the package, right? We will visit here, this place, package tour. Okay. When you do medical check, also there's a package. Right? Package. If you choose this one, they will do this one. Okay. Similarly now, whenever there's a samana, there's a piti. They cannot be separated. Right? Like a package. That's why piti is always together with sukha or samanasa. Piti is a piti, Vedana is a Vedana, two different things, right? Okay. That was the Pakinaka, right? What is the question about Pakinaka? Okay.
And about Uddhacca, how can we differentiate between Uddhacca and Lobha when we are like restless?
Okay, again. Okay, Uddhacca will be a little bit wider, right? Uddhacca, whenever there's an akusala chitta, there's an Uddhacca. It's wider than Lobha. Of course, when Lobha arrives, also there's an Uddhacca, sure. Right? When you have exciting restlessness, there's Uddhacca. So that means whether you have a lobha or dosa or mana or any akusala, it will arise together with uddhacca, restlessness. Right? Lobha is a grasping or attachment to something. Okay? Okay, another question?
Another question. Why Vichikicca only have Upekkha feeling, Upekkha Vedana? Why when I have doubt, I also feel there's something discomfort.
Okay. One more thing, right? In the case of discomfort, there can be many discomfort also. Right? You cannot satisfy yourself. This also got discomfort. Okay. Vichikicca. Why is equanimity? When we have doubt, we cannot go very deep. Right? Okay, for example, you may have doubt about your practice. You're like standing on a junction or crossroads. You don't know what to choose. You get confused. You cannot make any decision. This is called vichikicca. Okay, one more thing. Vichikicca also can cause dosa. Right? It doesn't mean vichikicca and dosa can arise together. That is why vichikicca will always together with upekkha, equanimity. Neither happiness nor unhappiness in the middle. Okay then.
Zoom question Sayadaw.
Okay.
Thưa ngài, con nghe nói ý người hành thiền không nên ngủ nghỉ quá nhiều, tầm 4 tiếng là đủ, không nên ưa thích ngủ nghỉ. Nhưng con luôn cảm thấy nếu con ngủ không đủ 8 tiếng thì cơ thể sẽ uể oải, thiền như bị hôn trầm. Có những hôm vì cảm giác ngủ chưa đủ, nếu dậy ngồi thiền cũng không thiền được, mà con không dậy ngồi nữa, con ngủ cho đủ để thời sau tốt hơn. Con làm như vậy có được không? Hay con nên huấn luyện mình ngủ nghỉ ít lại ạ? So now I heard that a meditator should not sleep too much, should not sleep over 4 hours. Maybe 4 hours is enough, and should not enjoy in sleeping. But I always feel that if I don't have enough 8 hours sleeping, then the body would be very sluggish and tired. And when meditate, usually have Tinamita, there are some day because of not enough sleep. If I wake up, get up to meditate, then could not meditate at all. So I just sleep enough, and then the next section it would be much better. So can I do that, or I must train my body not to sleep enough or sleep less?
Okay, 8 hours is too much, right? Right? What about 6 hours? Right? Mostly 6 hours to 7 hours, right? This is enough for everybody, right? 8 hours is too much. So, according to my knowledge, 6 hours is enough, right? It depends on age also. When we grow older, we don't fall asleep that easily. It depends on lifestyle also, right? Sometimes, okay, some of my classmates, they can fall asleep very easily. So it depends on lifestyle or the habit also, right? Anyway, so if we can sleep 6 hours a day, it will be okay. Actually, it doesn't mention 4 hours a day. Exactly. Of course, at the time of the Buddha, it was a little bit different. They train themselves to reduce sleeping hours. It will take time. Okay, I should give some formula here, right? For example, you want to reduce sleeping hour. Now you may sleep 7 hours a day, for example. Okay, reduce 1 hour. Try to sleep 6 hours a day. When it becomes habit, after 3 months or 4 months, it will become habit. Right? Then, when it becomes habit of sleeping 6 hours a day, reduce 1 more hour, 5 hours a day. Try. After 3 to 4 months, you may be used to it with 5 hours sleeping. Reduce again until 4 hours. If you train like this, it's possible. If you just cut immediately to sleep 4 hours a day, so the next morning, as soon as you close eyes, you may feel drowsy. When sun rise, right? As soon as you close eyes, you may feel drowsy. This is the problem. So you can change your sleeping habit. Okay, gradually it's possible to change. Okay, now next one.
Another question, Venerable Sayadaw, if a person offers money to a bhikkhu and the bhikkhu accepts it, in that case the bhikkhu breaks sila. Does the layperson who make the offering also break any precepts according to the Buddha teaching? And what kind of result, karma, merit, will that layperson receive from such an offering? Thank you, Sayadaw.
Okay, in the case of kusala, akusala, it comes from mind also, right? You may have great intention. This is one thing. That's a lack of knowledge. This is another problem. You offer with good intention. You may not know this is breaking precepts, right? This is lack of knowledge. Okay, few things here. If we offer knowingly, that means we encourage somebody to break precepts. We are helping somebody breaking precepts. In the case of akusala, that means we can also say akusala shareholder, right? In Vietnam, you may have many companies, right? You can be shareholder in many companies also. So in the case of akusala shareholder, we should know, for example, the offender. He breaks precepts. This is the main problem. Right? So he's a real offender. This is akusala, very clear. Another thing, if somebody agree with him to break precepts, right? So then, okay, you break precepts. I agree, you can do it, right? Agree. This is also akusala shareholder. Also encourage. Okay, you can do it. It's better handling money, right? Just encourage to break precepts. This is also akusala shareholder. The last one, sorry. So that's like a brazen, right? Oh, you are very smart. Now you know how to handle money, right? How to manage money. So if somebody prays, this is also akusala shareholder. Main offender, this is the one thing. There are 3 shareholder, right? 3 shareholder. Encouraging, agree, praise. These are shareholder, right? So in this case, if you knowingly do it, this is also shareholder. Or if you don't know, it will be, there can be kusala, but among the kusala, we also have jnana vipayutta, knowledge associated kusala. You do kusala, but knowledge associated. That kind of dana is called 2 root, right? Mostly people want to have 3 rooted, right? Without wisdom, if we do dana or sila or anything, it will be only 2 root dana, 2 root sila. When that karma produces next life, you can be reborn as a 2-rooted person. You can practice. You can attain asset concentration, but you cannot attain jhana. You can practice vipassana, but you cannot attain megaphala. That kind of thing can happen. Okay? Then any other? Oh, okay, now. Time's up already, right? We can share merit. Idam me bunyam asavakaya vaham hodu. Idam me bunyam nibbanasa pateyo hodu. Mama bunya vaga sabbasattanam bhajemi te sabbe me samam bunya vagam labandu. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.